everybody. Good morning, and welcome to another space today organized by the Nigerians in Germany Twitter community. And today's topic, I believe, is going to be a very exciting one where we can all basically learn and benefit, get some knowledge. So today we're talking about the topic how to benefit from the German tax law and accelerate wealth creation. How to benefit from the German tax law and accelerate wealth creation. And today we have a guest speaker who is basically going to, educate us on this topic, on how it works in Germany, etc., and everything. And please, guys, just listen. It's going to be of very high value. All right, Mr. Christian, if you can hear me, just unmute your mic. Introduce you to the house.
Yes, thank you, Chikezi. Can
Yeah.
everybody hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Then sound check already worked. Perfect. I will actually wait for our second guest speaker as well, so that we can immediately introduce both of us and start for today. And of course, just as you mentioned, we'll really go deep into the topic of saving on taxes, increasing net income, and building wealth as well.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Darius, if you can hear me, just kindly accept the request that has been sent to you. Okay. All right. So, I think he's now here now. So, Christian, you can go ahead.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. So we actually won't use a lot of time on personal introductions, just so that we have as much time as possible to provide everyone with lots of information on how you can save on taxes and social security. So just in short, my name is Christian and I am senior consultant at Proper API, where we help expats in Germany to understand the German financial system and use the system to their advantage as well. So that's why we are also aware that almost everybody who moves to Germany from other countries faces the exact same issues, like lots of bureaucracy, the language barrier, and unfortunately a much higher tax rate as well. And even a lot of Germans have issues with understanding our financial system. So our mission is to provide all of our clients with the knowledge to be able to save on tax and social security, and to also strategically build wealth through investments and real estate. And this is the reason why our managing partner, who is also on this call today, Darius Husseini, founded Proper API many years ago. And in one of our consultations, Chikezi mentioned to me that this type of information and knowledge would be highly relevant not only to him, but also to a lot of other Nigerians in his community. And therefore, I'm glad that today Darius actually managed to take roughly 1 hour out of his schedule to provide everybody in the space just with valuable knowledge on how you can get more of your current situations based on his experiences of over 1,000 consultations. Okay, so please, Darius, take it away.
So, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Wonderful.
Good morning.
So, yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Christian, for the lovely introduction. So I will start giving you an overview of the most important points for the first, I would say, 20 minutes. And then we can use about 30 minutes to discuss as many questions as possible to help you in the best possible way. So let's begin with ways to save on taxes. And now I could list 50 things for you which are tax deductible. You learn them by heart and then you know something. Or I give you the meta level behind the tax system in Germany so you understand yourself in the future what are tax deductible costs. And this is important now because there are 3 main ways to save on taxes. And maybe you can take some notes now to make it easier to comprehend. First point is so-called income-related expenses. Because if you can link any expense to your job in any way, it's a 99% of the cases tax deductible. So we, for example, work with lots of IT professionals who are our clients, and they have often software costs. They're working from home. They have sometimes educational costs because they read a book or they buy an online course to improve their skills. And all of these costs are fully tax deductible since they're income related. So if you prepare your tax declaration to like send it to your tax advisor or to just to put some numbers into any app, then you should just double check your bank statements. And for every expense, you ask yourself the question, can this specific expense be linked to my job in any way? And if yes, you should just try to deduct it, because the worst thing that can happen is that the tax office tells you, yeah, this expense is not tax deductible. Okay, so if you're not sure, just try to deduct. Second main point is our so-called extraordinary burdens. Because we have many clients, they support, for example, their parents in their home country. So for example, in your case, Nigeria. So if you send money to your parents to support them financially because they're in financial need, for example, then this is often also tax deductible. You just need to prove that you send money from your account to the bank account of your parents. There are also like 2 to 3 other factors which are important. If like someone of you is sending money to his or her parents, then we can just use the time afterwards to discuss that specific question if necessary. On top of that, for extraordinary burdens, also medical costs, which are not covered by public health insurance, are also tax deductible. And even glasses and contact lenses are medical costs. So don't like throw away these invoices, keep them, because if you file your taxes, we always need the invoices, or you always need the invoices, because in Germany, without an invoice, it never happened. Okay. Now, in my opinion, most interesting part to save taxes, if you invest money intelligently, which we should do like anyway, also these kind of investments are often tax deductible. So for example, if you buy real estate and you rent it out, you produce rental income, which is in the future taxed by income tax, which means all the costs related to that real estate investment are fully tax deductible. So the interest rate is fully tax deductible. The property management fee, buying tax, notary fee, so initial costs, even renovation would be fully tax deductible. So it might make sense for many of you to look into the real estate field to generate some passive income, also to achieve some financial goals and simultaneously save taxes. If you buy something for home ownership, unfortunately, in that case, nothing is tax deductible because you don't produce income. And if you don't produce income, you don't produce income for the tax office, which means you don't have any tax deductibility. So regarding the numbers in the current market situation in respect to real estate, it makes more sense to rent something out in comparison to buy something for yourselves. Also, if you invest money into ETFs or stocks, in many ways, also these contributions are fully tax deductible. And this obviously makes a lot of sense because a high tax rate is not only in this disadvantage, because if you have the duty to, let's say, pay 42% taxes on income, you also have the right to save 42% on tax deductible expenses. And this is what more or less nobody is using appropriately. Even like German people are not using that appropriately, because no one actually knows, okay, how can I save more with my high tax rate? So let me give you an example. Let's say you invest 500 euros every month, long term, just to build more wealth, so you don't have to work for your whole life. So you invest 500 euros, you have a tax rate of 42%. So 42% out of 500 would be 210, meaning we would increase your tax return by 210 every month by investing 500 euros. So you can probably imagine if you use the 210, the tax return on a monthly basis now, to reinvest that money, to create even more wealth, you now invest 710 every month in comparison to 500 because of the tax advantage. And you can probably imagine if you invest 710 over the next 10, 20 years in comparison to 500, the difference in your wealth building will be enormous, especially if we look at compound interest effect. So this would be, for example, some way to create some leverage, to use the German tax system wisely, to support you, for example, in your own wealth building. And this is probably the financial goal of all of you, since you came to Germany from Nigeria, obviously to make some money. And if the German government is supporting you building wealth, then this is also something you should at least consider if that's interesting for you. Yes, that's in the first place for the tax part, at least for employed people. I'm not quite sure if someone of you is self-employed. If yes, then like I said, you can just ask me all the questions probably in like 10 minutes. So we have enough time to discuss everything properly. The second point to save a lot of money and to achieve a higher net salary is the social security part. Because many people only focus on taxes, but you don't only have the a tax deduction from your gross salary, you also have the social security deduction. So the most important point here is health insurance, where you can save a lot of money. And it's a pretty, I would say, suspicious topic because many people have a bad feeling regarding private health insurance, but there is not any rational reason that people are scared of switching to private health insurance. Because in private health insurance, we have so many rumors and so much dangerous half know-how, because many people know something, but most people don't know everything. So they have a wrong decision basis, which obviously leads to a bad decision in the end, which is a disadvantage. So let me clear up and clarify some rumors regarding private health insurance. So many people say private health insurance automatically becomes more expensive with age. This is simply not true. It's a rumor. The calculation in private health insurance is the same like in public health insurance. So if we have more old people in Germany, which is the case, that's the reason why we need you guys so bad. But if we have more old people, we have obviously more people who are sick. And if we have more people who are sick, then obviously the contribution for public and for private health insurance becomes more expensive in the future. But in public health insurance, the contribution grows significantly faster than in private health insurance. So especially if you're scared for rising social security contributions, and probably some people noticed that 1st of July when they increased the nursing insurance contribution for your gross contributions. In that case, you should also definitely consider switching to private health insurance, so you don't have any future surprise in 8 years that you contribute significantly more to your public health insurance, so you have a less net salary. Second rumor, you can't switch back to public. This is also just half true, because the threshold, so you're eligible to switch to private health insurance, is an annual income of 66,600. Which means if you earn less than 66,600, you can't switch to private health insurance, at least not yet. And if you earn more, obviously you're eligible for that. So many people say, yeah, I'm scared of switching to private because I don't know if I can't come back. Okay. If you earn more than 66,600 annually, there is no reason to switch back to public because you pay less contributions and you have a better benefit catalog. If you earn less than 66,600 in the future because you might be unemployed or something happens, who knows, then you have to go back to public health insurance. You can't stay in private health insurance if you earn less than 66,600. So the government is protecting you here. That's also the reason why the government established the threshold of 66,600 annual income, because at that point, it's more beneficial to be in private health insurance in comparison to being in public. Third big rumor, and this is probably the biggest one, many people say in private health insurance, you have to pay upfront. So you go to the doctor, you pay, and then you get reimbursed. And this is also simply not true. Because the only difference in private health insurance would be that you receive the invoice, you make a photo of this invoice from the doctor, then the private health insurance pays you, and then you pay the doctor. And if you go to hospital, it's exactly the same like in public, because the private health insurance doesn't want to pay you like 50,000 euros for a hospital stay, and then you're gone, you know? And that's the reason why, in that case, it's the same like in public. On top of that, let me show you the truth regarding private health insurance. On average, you save 100 euros per month on private health insurance. And this is 1,200 every year. And if you save that over the next 10, 15 years, you probably have a wealth advantage plus compound interest effect of 20,000 euros. And this is obviously some money. So also here, carefully consider it. It might be really beneficial for you. In addition, if you stay healthy, so you just had medical checkups, for example, or preventive examinations in 1 year, you receive 2.5 monthly contributions back from your health insurance. And not only the employee contribution, you receive also the employer's contribution back, because obviously in private health insurance, the employer is also paying 50%, like in public. So additionally, probably something around 1,500 to 2,000 euros every year on top if you stay healthy in 1 year. And I have to say, I have many Nigerian clients, and I'm not quite sure if that's genetics, but most of them are pretty healthy. So probably most of you would save a lot on social insurance if you make the switch to private. Now, the most important point here is health is our biggest asset. Because let's say we saved 1 million euros and one of us becomes sick. Well, we probably would immediately pay 1 million if we have the opportunity to recover the health condition. So health is more important than money, obviously. And now you can ask yourself the question, if you are sick or like you have a serious illness, do you want to go to any doctor in public health insurance who maybe just finished university and you're the first one on the table? Or do you want to go to the best doctor in Germany who's specialized on this specific surgery, but who is working in a private clinic because he's earning more money there? And that's the most important point regarding private health insurance, because you just have better benefits. You have access to private clinics. You don't have to wait on average 6 months to talk to a specialist. And even probably it's not the best one in Germany. So yeah, typically it's a no-brainer because you save a lot of money, plus you have better services. So I don't see any rational reason for most of the people to stay in public health insurance. But to give you the big picture, there are obviously scenarios where you shouldn't make the switch, or you possibly can't make the switch. So if you earn less than 66,600 annually, then unfortunately you can't make the switch, and then you typically just switch when you're above that threshold. If you have a serious pre-existing condition, you can't switch to private, because maybe some of you ask themselves the question, okay, why is private health insurance cheaper while they have better benefits? Where is the catch? Well, the catch is that you can only join private health insurance if you are healthy. Because all the people with chronic diseases, for example, they have to stay in public. And that's the reason why the public health insurance also just becomes more expensive, and why they reduce every year, like hidden, the benefits catalog, because there are just too many sick and too many old people in the public health insurance system. Because, like I said, only the healthy people can join the private health insurance. So, unfortunately, in that case, you couldn't join. And if your spouse is not yet working, or maybe it's not the plan that he or she will ever work, then it also might make sense to stay in public, because in private health insurance, you don't have this so-called family insurance free of charge. So in that case, it might be more beneficial that you stay in a public health insurance. But if your spouse is earning more than only 520 euros gross per month, he or she already has own social security, which means you could switch to private, your spouse stays in public, you save a lot of money, you have better benefit catalog, and in the end, obviously, both of you benefit from that. Okay, that's for private health insurance. So also something you should consider. Let me give you a brief summary, because I guess already in 16 minutes we discussed many points. To save taxes, you should focus on income-related expenses to save as much as possible. So, for example, a printer would be income-related. If you have a specific room in your apartment which is only meant for your job, also income-related. Partially the rent and electricity costs, Wi-Fi would be tax deductible. So even if you look for a new apartment, maybe you have one specific room just for your home office. Extraordinary burdens like maintenance are often tax deductible. You should consider planning your investments properly. You should have a closer look on investing into a property, and also to invest some money into stocks or ETFs to generate huge tax benefits. And the last point we've discussed, if it makes sense in your situation, you should find that out, or if you like, we can also find that out together. Then you should definitely also consider switching to private health insurance. Because if we increase your tax refund by 2,000 euros, and then you save 2,000 euros annually on health insurance, then we are already talking about 4,000 euros annual income, which you can obviously invest. And this makes a huge difference in your wealth building if you tax and social security optimize your current situation. So that's from my side to give you an overview. I would suggest that you can now ask me all the questions you have. I don't know how it's working, so maybe someone has just taken somebody who can just ask any question he or she likes to ask. Okay? Nice.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Darius. So, guys, I mean, you've heard it all. This is your opportunity to ask questions. Use this opportunity now to ask questions. These are really busy guys. I have to basically, drag them out to make our time so that we can have this educational session. So, if you have any question to ask, regarding all he said so far, please just request. I'll make you a speaker and you just ask. He talked about, mostly for people who are employed, also for people who may be business people as well. If you're a business person, you want to know how this can affect you, please go ahead and ask. Mr. Darius, I had a question. There's something you said.
Sure.
That caught my interest. If someone, for example, now is maybe working from home, maybe an IT professional, working from home. I'm sure there are lots of IT professionals on this space. They do home office and all that. And of course, I'm assuming they use the internet of their home.
Yeah.
Everything they do is related to the work they do. How can you just expand more on that? How can they how does that help in tax saving? Just could you just expatiate on that? Thank you.
Of course. So you have two ways to save on taxes regarding home office. It depends if you have a specific room in your apartment, and it must be a specific room. It can't be just a section, that you're working in your living room and you have a section. In that case, you can't use the big tax advantage of reducing all the costs which are related to that specific room. Because let's say this specific room is 30% of your apartment. So 30% of the costs regarding your apartment are fully tax deductible. So 30% of your rent, 30% of the electricity costs, 30% Wi-Fi, all the furniture in this specific room, everything is tax deductible. If you don't have a specific room, this would be option 2. Then it would be a home office flat rate, where you receive a tax benefit for every day in home office. And then you just need to prepare some kind of Excel sheet that you can prove to the tax office how many days you worked from home and how many days you went to office by car, by train, or whatever. And then they calculate your tax refund for home office.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I have a question here from Lucy. I'll just read out the question. Just
Sure.
Okay, I think Lucy's saying, can you switch from private to public health insurance when you get married?
Only if she earns less than 66,600 annually. So the one who is in private can only switch to public health insurance if the one is earning less than 66,600 annually. But the question is, what's the main reason to switch back to public health insurance?
Absolutely, that's the question, Lucy. So you can answer that. All right, I'll pass the mic to the calculus. The calculus, you have the mic now. Go ahead, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Darius, for this wonderful presentation. But I kind of joined late, but I want to ask some clarification about the investment on properties
Yes.
in order to save tax. Could you please run around that again so that we can, how is investing in property will be able to maybe save money or create wealth in
Of
general?
course. So let me give you the Meta rule in the tax system in Germany. The Meta rule is if you had expenses to generate income, which is taxed by income tax, all these expenses are tax deductible. Real estate income is taxed by income tax, which means if you rent one apartment out, you produce rental income, which is taxed by income tax. In that case, all the costs related to that real estate investment are tax deductible. So the interest rate is tax deductible. The property management fee, because you shouldn't do it by yourself. You should probably just invest more time into your career to make more money, because the returns are higher there. Then renovations are tax deductible, and even your initial equity capital you need to buy something for the buying tax and notary fee. Also, the buying tax and the notary fee is tax deductible. And if you have a tax rate of 42%, for example, then you receive every year 42% of these costs back. So many people tell me nowadays, yeah, is it a good idea nowadays to invest in real estate? We have higher interest rates. Yes, for people who are looking for home ownership. But if you rent it out, you receive 42% of the interest rate back. So we have 2 point something net interest rate, which is nothing. And then it obviously makes a lot of sense to buy real estate, to increase the rent in the future, to generate some passive income. And obviously, when the real estate loan is finished, you just have another income stream. So you don't have to fully rely on your income anymore, which should be the financial goal for everybody, in my opinion. To get the most of the situation and to use all the benefits which are available, obviously.
Okay, does that answer your question, the calculus?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so guys, please request the mic. I mean, if you have questions to ask, or you can just simply use the chat button. I can read it out. I can read out your questions before he goes to the next session. Thank you all. So back to you, Mr. Darius. I think there are no questions for now. Once there are questions, I'll just simply or request, I'll just simply read them out. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, obviously, we can also talk about other topics if you like, because Christian mentioned that like tax and social security is particularly important. But obviously, there are other topics in Germany which are important if you look at your situation holistically. Because we at Proper API, what makes us special is that we combine all the important financial topics like taxes, insurance, investment, and real estate. Because you only can get the most out of your situation if you combine all the different benefits, since everything is linked to each other. Okay? So for example, obviously private health insurance is linked to investments in real estate, because if you save money, you can invest that money or you can finish your real estate loans faster. So it's important to take that into consideration if you create a holistic strategy for yourself. It might be useful to consider a so-called occupational disability insurance, especially if you're the only one in the family who's earning money and the whole family is relying on you, or maybe your family abroad is relying on you. So if one becomes sick, you can't expect that much support from the German government for a longer period if you are sick. So if you lose your income, which is obviously the basis of everything, because if you don't have your income anymore, we're not talking about any financial goals or savings or investments anymore. It's also important to take that into consideration, so you're definitely on the safe side, doesn't matter what happens. And not only you're on the safe side if everything goes well, and who knows. Okay, and even occupation disability insurance now is linked to real estate. Why? Interest rate is just another name for the potential risk. So how likely is it that you repay the loan? And the bank will ask itself the same question. Who's repaying the loan when someone gets sick and doesn't receive the income, or at least the full income anymore? Who's repaying the loan? Okay, difficult. So what happens? You receive an interest rate surcharge of 0.1 to 0.3% per year. And if we look at compound interest effect on, let's say, 400,000 euros loan, it makes a huge difference if you take that into consideration or not. So this is also one point, one important one to consider. Also, liability insurance, which costs 60, 70 euros annually if you have a good one. Also really important, because in Germany you are liable if you damage a third party. So if someone of you cross the street and there's a car accident because of you, you have to pay for the car, you have to pay for hospital invoices, you have to pay for damages at the street itself, whatsoever. Even if a friend of yours is giving you his phone and the phone is falling on the ground, let's say an iPhone, it's 1,000 euros costs, you have to repay the damage regarding the German law. So this is also really important to protect you, and especially protect your wealth, because all of us are not perfect and we might make mistakes which could cause any financial damage to anybody, or even personal damage. And in that case, you should be insured, because otherwise it could, I don't want to say it could destroy you financially, but it could destroy you financially, unfortunately. So this is also important, and especially if we talk about 60 euros annually, so 5 euros per month, what are we talking about? Moreover, if you look for investments, you should definitely divide your savings contributions into savings which are specifically intended for retirement, and savings contributions which are for the wealth building on the short and the medium term. Because you have different tax benefits if you plan that properly. And on top of that, you should separate your investments anyways, because otherwise you never know how much money do you actually have for your retirement and how much money do you have for, let's say, buying real estate, luxury, and so on. So this is also something you should definitely consider. And then like creating a step-by-step plan. Wealth is protected through proper insurance. You save money through private health insurance. You have more budget. Now you invest long-term for retirement, for example, because you should start as early as possible. Because in the end, if you wait 1 year, it's a question is, if you have 500,000 saved in the end, do you receive 9% interest rate on 500,000 1 year longer or not? So this 1 year could cost you a lot of money, because especially in the end, the compound interest effect can work appropriately. And if you don't start early or you start later, you just need a higher contribution to achieve that same goal that someone could achieve who started 5, 6, 7 years earlier. So this is also really important. And it doesn't matter if you retire in Germany or not, because who knows where you are in 10 years? Nobody can actually say that. It's just a matter of probability. Because if you invest wisely with a correct solution and you talk to a specialist who's focused on expats, then you receive that money out of your savings plan in every country. It might even make sense that if you leave Germany, you keep your investments in Germany. Let's say you go back to Nigeria in 15 years. You keep your investments in Germany because the money is still invested and still gets compounded in euros. So you obviously have a huge currency benefit if you don't need that money if you leave Germany. You just keep the investment here. Then you might leave Germany, you keep the investment in Germany, and then at a certain point, you can take that money out in euros, which is obviously also a huge currency advantage. And when the long-term investments are sorted, then we are talking about, real estate investments, investments into bonds, mutual funds, commodity funds, or something like that, which are not specifically meant for retirement. You maybe don't know for what reason you would like to save that money, just to like create some wealth, just to build a good corpus, to just have access to that money anytime. This is also something which is important. And now you see, okay, many topics to consider and many opportunities. So I would definitely recommend you that you talk to a specialist. It doesn't have to be us. I'm just 100% sure that we're the best one on the market, but everyone is saying that. So you should definitely consult a professional financial consultant who can like guide you through the tax, financial, and real estate system in Germany. Because you came from Nigeria to Germany, you maybe left your family to like improve your career, to maybe give your parents something back, and so on. So why shouldn't you use all the opportunities which are available when you came from Nigeria to Germany, which is a long distance? You left your family and so on. So I don't see any reason why you shouldn't take good financial advice to just get the most out of your situation, for sure.
Okay, if it's okay, I can take a question now from someone.
Of course.
All right, Pio, you have the mic. Pio the Great, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for this wonderful space, because you never know it all. There are a whole lot of things one need to know here in Germany. So my question is, first of all, I heard you talk about we have to look at return investment, tax deductible based on what you do, as where you what fetch you more money, like you contribute to your work. For example, if you drive like let's say 80 kilometers to work, how can you factor this one in? And then second one is I didn't understand the part where you're saying that if you take further certification that you also have to tender that to get some money back. Then the last question is, someone was telling me, I don't know how true is it. It said during your studies here, like those are the stuffs you bought, like your PC, your textbook, that when you start working, that I don't understand how you explain that you have to submit the receipts so that you get some money back. If you have more insight on this, can you explain more? Thank you.
Of course, you're welcome. Come again, what was the second question? The first one was, okay, you drive 80 kilometers to your work.
Yeah.
What's tax deductibility? Third question was, okay, any equipment for your job? And
yeah, like certification, you do you take some courses, extra courses, yeah, and then that is related to your job. Yeah.
Yeah, education. Okay, got it. So you have a kilometer flat rate in Germany, which is 30 cents per kilometer. So you can deduct 30 cents per kilometer. You just need to tell the tax office what is the distance between your apartment, for example, your house to the work. If you can prove that this is 80 kilometers and that you can prove with an Excel sheet, for example, that you drive to office 5 days a week, then they will automatically calculate your tax refund. So this is not a problem. For the second and the third question is more or less the same. So if you have bought a course, for example, for 300 euros, then you just need to share this receipt, this invoice with the tax office if they ask for, and then you receive 42% back of it. That's pretty easy. You just need to prove that this educational cost is linked to your job. And this is pretty easy because if you are a software engineer, for example, and you bought a course of, let's make it easy, how do I become a better software engineer? Then it's obviously easy, or is it? And it's obviously to prove that you had this expense for your job, because it's also tax deductible if you had expenses to possibly generate more income in the future. So even, let's say you're a software engineer and you read a book of how to become a data engineer, then even this book would be tax deductible, because you could tell the tax office, yeah, I would like to become also a data engineer because then I have better job offers. I can ask for more money. I can negotiate better. And then it's immediately tax deductible because it's linked to your job. Regarding the PC and the notebook and all the like hardware, for example, it depends a bit. If the employer pays for it, then obviously it's not tax deductible. If you paid for it, it's often partially tax deductible because you need to prove how much private use do you have and how much do you use it for business. And the problem is if the employer already gave you one notebook and you bought another one for your private use and you try to deduct it, difficult to prove that you need a second laptop for your job, but if you only have one laptop and the employer didn't pay for it, then I would probably just off the record claim something around 80 to 90% business use and 10% private use, and then you can deduct 90% of the costs for this laptop, notebook, headset, keyboard, or whatsoever.
Yeah, the second question, maybe you didn't get it well. What I mean, if you obtain a degree here, let's say, okay, for example, now I'm into tech. I studied software system science as a degree here, master's degree. So during my studies, my laptop and some textbook that I bought, are they tax deductible?
Okay, so yeah, I didn't get that you did a master's degree, that it was not like a specific course on any platform, that it was a master's degree. Yeah, master's is really nice to save taxes. because the tuition fees for the master's degree are fully tax deductible. And also laptop, like you said, it's true. Yeah, everything is tax deductible. So books, laptop, tuition fee, everything which is connected to your master's, because this is also to prepare yourself to make your more income. Yes, it's everything fully tax deductible. And if you don't work yet, you can even carry on the loss from this year, from 2023, for example, to 2024 when you start to work. Because let's say you pay 20,000 euros on taxes in 2024, but you carried on a loss of 10, you receive a tax refund of 10,000 euros in that easy example. So yes, you should definitely deduct these costs.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Pio. Okay, so let's take another question. Olasumbo, you have the mic. Go ahead, madam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I actually don't have a question. I just want to add to what Mr. Darius said. Thank you so much for the explanation and everything. What I want to say is that I would implore everyone to always do their tax refund every year. And also, if you don't do it every year, you can do it 3 years after. Like, if you started working 2020, you can do the tax refund. You can do it backwards. Like, some years back, you can put everything together and then put it in together. So, there are some things that I don't really agree on, Mr. Darius. Yeah, especially about the private insurance.
Okay, shoot. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with everyone. You don't really need a private insurance. You don't really need it. And the reason being that I have a lot of friends that are in the private insurance world. And the only advantage of private insurance compared to public is just that you get an appointment faster. That's the only advantage that I've had the conversation with my friends, and this is the only thing they tell me. Every other thing is just the same as the public insurance. So as a Nigerian that I am, I would implore everyone on this call, you don't really need the private insurance. It's good to know about it, but you don't need it.
Thank you for your.
That's all I'll say.
Thank you for your feedback. So I strongly have to disagree, because I'm doing this job for 11 years, and we have probably more than 8,000 clients, and many of them experienced a huge difference in the benefit catalog. It's obviously mentioned everywhere, and even if you would be right, let's say you're right, and the benefit catalog is the same, why should you stay in public health insurance when the contribution is 100 euros lower in private, and you have faster appointments, and you have access to the refunds? Why should you stay in public? And I'll give you another point, which is even more important, and this is explained in macroeconomic terms. What do you think? If all the sick people stay in public health insurance, and all the older people right now in Germany are in public health insurance, and we have a big boomer generation in Germany, so many people in the mid-50s, and in the next 10 years, all of them go to pension, which means they don't contribute to the social security system anymore. And even worse, they take a lot out of the social security system with their high state pension. What do you think will happen to the social security system, and especially the public health insurance, in the next 10 to 15 years if this is the case? Private health insurance becomes more valuable in comparison to public health insurance every year. They exclude benefits every year. They increase the contributions for public health insurance every year. And this is not the case for private. And like I said, even if you would be right, and let's say the benefit catalog is the same, and you only save 100 euros per month, why should you stay in public health insurance and leave 100 euros on the table? If I would tell you, give me 100 euros every month, you wouldn't say, yes, of course. You would say, no, why should I give you 100 euros every month? And this is the same case. Why should you leave 100 euros every month on the table if, like you said, the benefit catalog is the same? You don't have to answer this question. I just want to give you and especially everybody here, because you need to be careful. Especially, unfortunately, if someone is not a professional in this case, you need to be really careful, because I have to say, unfortunately, this statement is simply not true.
Okay, thank you very much for the clarification. I mean, it's good so that this is all for education, and it's good for us to all learn. Thank you so much, Mr. Darius. If there are no more questions, I think you can move into the next. Back to you, sir.
Okay, then just as a brief summary, if you would like to have support for any real estate investment, for any insurance question, any retirement investment, tax optimization, and something like that, you can just go to proper-API, so API.de. You can have a look at our homepage. You can see some testimonials from our clients. You see what does our service include. We always have a free initial consultation, so you can just see, okay, what are your questions? Does our service fit to your situation? Without any fee or something like that. And then we might help you also in your specific situation. It made a lot of fun talking to you, answering your questions, and I'm looking forward to meet the one or another person via any Zoom call, for example, more or less in person, to also help you out. Thank you very much.
I would want to thank you, Mr. Darius and Kristen, for taking all the time, your very busy schedule, to come and have this space, educate us about the tax system in Germany, and how we can basically benefit from this. Thank you so much, guys. This space is for educational purposes only, as you heard from him. And of course, if you're interested, as he said, you can go to their platform. They're out there, and can reach out to them. So I think there's one more question I'll take from Saeed. Saeed requested the mic. Maybe you might be the last. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Saeed, we can hear you clearly. If you're using earphones, please take them off so that you can be audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. A bit low, but
yeah, can
if
you hear me now?
If your audio is really poor, we're struggling to hear you, basically.
Okay, maybe I will text.
Yeah, probably just like this. I'm back, yeah. Okay, guys. So please, if there are any final questions, just send the chat. Use the chat button or request the mic, because the space will be ending soon.
Yes, so I have 2 minutes left.
Yes.
So if you like, you can also, if you like, share our because we don't have access to the chat, I guess.
Yes.
You can just share our homepage link if you like. I guess it's convenient for some people.
Yes. Okay. I can probably just do that. I'll just probably share the homepage link for those who wish to. I'll put that in the chat. So just put it there, and that's that. And Mr. Darius, I really want to thank you again for taking all the time one more time to honor this invitation and educate us on this topic.
With pleasure.
I hope we'll be doing more of this further down the line, this should be the first of many, and let's, build this community. Thank you. And guys, please, if you have any questions whatsoever, she's leaving in 2 minutes. These are very busy people, and I just have to basically drag them out. So I'll put their website basically in the chat. You can look at it, and it's all there. Thank you so much. And Kristen, I don't know okay, Sahid, I think you're back. Sahid, can you just make your question quick if your mic is working now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah, so the question is for public insurance and then private insurance, when it comes to medical treatment, let's say for instance your wife gives birth, I had most times private insurance you got to pay the whole bills, and it's quite huge. Unlike for public, it's been taken care of by the public insurance. So I don't know, maybe the invited guest can really clarify that part, because I have a friend that paid as much as 4,500 for a baby delivery. Why another friend of mine was on public health insurance. I mean, it's really
okay. Mr. Darius, did you get the question?
Yes, yeah, more or less. I'm answering the question briefly and also on the meta level.
Yeah.
So to explain it in math, public health insurance service is X, and private health insurance is X plus Y. So it's never the case that something is covered by public health insurance and something is not covered by private health insurance, because the German government established a certain benefit catalog. And the benefit catalog of being in public health insurance is the minimum coverage every German citizen, or everyone who's in Germany at least, needs to have. So in that case, it must be something else. And I also didn't get the full question, but it's always the case if you or your wife is in public or in private health insurance, the minimum coverage is always included. There is not any option. It must be a different scenario. I need to understand the big picture here to give you a 100% answer. So I'm just able to give you an answer on the meta level. Like I said, it's the same minimum coverage, at least in private health insurance. You typically even have a better coverage.
Okay. Just to explain what he said that a friend of his whose wife was on private health insurance had to pay more money when she was doing delivery. That's what he said. I'm like, paraphrasing him. While he has another friend who was on public health insurance that was covered by the public, he said, can you clarify that? Is that possible?
Yes. So doctors, it obviously depends on the hospital, but doctors can charge more for private patients in comparison to people in public health insurance. That's the reason why people in private health insurance receive faster appointments, because doctors can just charge more. But in the end, you don't care how much the hospital or the doctor charges, because in the end, the health insurance is paying 100% of it, especially if we're talking about giving birth. So let's say if you receive the feedback from any doctor that your surgery cost 20,000, and for someone in public health insurance 10, in the end you don't care, because your contribution, it doesn't affect you at all how much a doctor is charging in public or in private health insurance. It just doesn't matter. But yes, it's true that doctors can charge more money for people in private health insurance. And that's the reason why you receive significantly faster appointments. That's true.
Okay, and the final question, sir, please, if you don't mind, from Vanessa. What investment can we start as a bachelor student in Germany?
It obviously depends on the time horizon. It depends on the financial goals and on many factors. But I would choose a combination of a tax-optimized retirement plan long-term and something just to build some wealth in the short and the medium term. Depends on if we talk about 3, 5, 7, 10 years time horizon, but I would create a mixed portfolio of retirement plan for the long-term investments, and then for 10 years some ETF, 5 to 7 years some multi-asset funds, and everything below 5 years depends, maybe bonds. And if you would like to invest money just for 1 year, you should probably just leave it on your bank account.
Okay, so I think that's all for now. So no more questions.
Yes, now I definitely need to hurry and I need to leave, unfortunately.
I really want to, as I said, thank you again. And any final words, sir?
No, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you guys.
Absolutely. Kristen, any final words?
No, from my side also no, because I also have to hurry. So it was very nice listening in, and yeah, looking forward to maybe meet some of you in the future.
All right then. So wish you both, and wish you thank you very much for today's session, and
lots of success.
Absolutely.
Lots of health. Take care, all of you, and try to enjoy your time in Germany.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
See you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. I want to thank you all for participating in today's space. You've read it yourself. You listened to it. Give us your feedback. What do you think about the space? Was it educative enough? I mean, the idea is we want to be able to educate people and have the financial literacy basically on how you can benefit from the German tax law. If there are feedback, please want to hear from it. We don't know everything. We're all here to learn. And I really want to thank every single person. Please reach out to us. That's it. So that's the only way we can learn and get better. So I hope you guys gain tremendous value from today's space. I've posted the link. Just check the chat. You'll see it there to their website, so you can if you're interested in what they're into. Please, it's just for educational purposes only. You can contact them if you wish to. That will be your decision. So, guys, I want to wish you a happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday, TGIF. Enjoy your Friday and enjoy your weekend. And yeah, one love. And tomorrow, watch out for us. Tomorrow we have a space. We're bringing 2 doctors. Please save the space. We're going to talk about mental health in Germany, depression. We want to give value to the community. So please follow us. Make sure you follow us so that you can get notified when we have all these spaces, and we can discuss all these topics, and you can at least learn. So that is it. Thank you so much, guys, and one love, everybody. Take care.